Welcome to the evolution of consciousness. The world is in crisis and transformation. We are facing unprecedented challenges and changes in every segment of our global society. We live in a world where our economy and ecology are facing an uncertain future. We have created an economy where some companies are not allowed to fail, while others struggle to survive. Where the value of our currencies are uncertain and can fluctuate dramatically and unexpectedly. We've created an ecology where virtually every living system is in decline, and they are declining at ever-increasing rates. We are destroying our environment more quickly than it can repair itself. Regrettably, greed and fear are too often primary driving forces in our world today, and if unaddressed, will virtually ensure the destruction of our global economy. Ignorance of the complexity and interdependency with our environment virtually ensures the destruction of our global ecology. Today we are facing a tsunami of problems, so severe that they have pushed us to the brink of disaster. As a result of these problems, we often live fearful and stressful lives. We have lost our sense of connection to ourselves and to each other. We live in a virtual world of virtual relationships. This feeling of disconnection and alienation explains much about how we treat ourselves and others. True respect and kindness seem to be a thing of the past. They have been replaced by cunning, greed, competition, and mistrust. We have created a me culture instead of a we culture. This has led us to a global society where we struggle to find meaning and purpose, a society where our mental and physical health is being challenged in the name of progress. But is this really progress? The question people are asking is, how did we get ourselves into this situation, and what can we do about it? One thing is certain, continuing on this path by doing what we have been doing will not solve our problems. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. We've got to do something different. You might say that the principles of nature became their guidepost to a life of peace, harmony, and balance. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. When most people think of nature, they think of trees, mountains, lakes, oceans, deserts, and all manner of animal and plant life. What most people miss are the underlying principles that nature uses to create and support life. For millions of years, nature has, through the process of evolution, tried out all kinds of processes and mechanisms, and honed them down to make the most perfect systems to support life. These principles are shared by all life forms, even the most primitive organisms on the planet. It is these principles that may offer us a solution to our problems. Why wouldn't we want to use principles proven to create sustainability and balance for millions of years? Nature may be our most qualified life coach. What if you could hire the world's best life coach with millions of years of experience and a proven track record for sustainability? Well, you can. The life coach is called nature. What would happen if we applied the same successful principles of nature to the principles of everyday life? When we examine the principles of nature, we will discover nature's wisdom, even in observing the most basic unit of life. In reality, the first organisms in the world were cells. During the first 3 billion years of life, cells were scattered all over the planet, and through evolution, cells started to come together in order to thrive. They began to specialize, take on different roles, and work together to create a sustainable system. Today, multicellular organisms thrive because of their diversity and collaboration towards that common goal. In fact, we are actually communities of living cells, trillions of them. When they all operate and work in community, following the principles of nature, they share a common goal of striving for the betterment of the whole organism. However, today, the mindsets and lifestyles of many people, which directly affect the health and well-being of the cells, are unsustainable. They are out of alignment with the principles of nature, often resulting in poor health, destructive behaviors, and a general sense of helplessness and hopelessness. In fact, our whole world is facing profound problems because we are collectively ignoring the principles of nature. Most people today operate under the concept that the survival of the fittest is the primary driving force of evolution. This attitude creates a competitive and aggressive, do unto others before they do unto you world. This belief in the survival of the fittest has been interpreted over time to mean that only the most unethical and most ruthless people will survive and thrive, that it's a cutthroat world out there, and the end justifies the means, especially when it comes to making money and acquiring physical possessions. This mindset has led us down a dangerous and ultimately catastrophic path. Fortunately, there is another more accurate interpretation of nature than the survival of the fittest theory. Nature, by the way it created itself through evolution, is not a system based on competition. Nature is a system based on cooperation. There is a 17th century definition of competition that is very different from what it has become today. According to Webster's dictionary, the original definition of competition was derived from two Latin root words, which mean to strive for a common goal. To strive together for something is quite different than the current meaning of competition, which is to win at any cost, or to see other people as enemies rather than as potential friends, willing to help each other. To strive for a common goal sounds more like today's meaning of collaboration rather than competition. It seems our ancestors understood this key principle of nature better than we do today. Once again, ancient cultures can teach us something important about how to create a sustainable and harmonious society. Some of this wisdom can still be seen in common greetings used today by vestiges of these ancient societies in modern times. These greetings acknowledge an interconnectedness between all people. Namaste. The divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. In Lakesh. I am another you. Taizen, how is your soul perceiving the world? Mitakwe Oisen, all are related. Aloha, I recognize the presence of divine breath in you. Grusgat, greetings, God. In their own way, each culture expresses the awareness that we all possess a connection, often of a spiritual nature. This is seen in nature herself as the principle of interconnectedness. Every part of nature is connected to every other part of nature. This includes human beings. Many indigenous peoples of today still see themselves as a part of nature, not apart from nature. They acknowledge the principle of interconnectedness. One of the greatest scientific thinkers of modern times agrees with this ancient wisdom. A human being is a part of the whole, called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts, and feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Nobody is able to achieve this completely, but the striving for such achievement is in itself a part of the liberation and a foundation for inner security.